Hey everyone, VH here. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today's episode, we're going to be updating everyone on the Basilisk account, showing the new bits, new heroes, etc. And we're going to push an Aspen dungeon, see if we can break our record. We're going to do some stuff in Void Campaign and Hollow and Horde. We're going to show you how stuck we are with the Gustin wave of doom. And we're going to talk about the Chinese New Year event and the start to the new year in Idle Heroes, like as a whole. If you like today's video, please obviously make sure to subscribe, check out all my other stuff. Let's get straight into it. So, this is what we've done. I don't know what you'd have last seen. It depends if you watch stream or not. So, we have got ourselves our Basilisk, Wukong, Melissa, Sylvie. We had them before. We also had Queen before and Betty. What I did was, we've toned Betty down to T1, we built Elena back up to T4, and we have Destinied Madeline, and we've completely built Natalie. We didn't have Natalie at all. We now have Natalie. So we're one hero away from getting Nirvana, as far as I'm aware. It is 7. And we've come a little bit stuck with Basilisk. So we have... Oh, do you know what you probably haven't seen? We've maxed our Grimoire. If you're on the Discord, you know this. If you're not on the Discord, you don't know this. So we've maxed our Grimoire, which is cool. Oh, we can't push any further. That's fine. So it's given us a power boost. We've got to do a few more bits to Basilisk. In fact, can we... I don't think we've got enough. I don't think we have got infusion stones. No, I don't think we have got infusion stones. That's fine. I was just thinking there, we could nearly finish up Basilisk infusions. No, we haven't. That's fine. So the account's looking okay. I'm realising that I regret destinying Sylvie so early on. Basilisk is now at 85 million attack, and we are struggling in Void Campaign 8-2. Yeah, 8-2, 8-2-2. The issue I found with Basilisk isn't the Valkyrie waves, which a lot of people struggle with. Bear in mind, I would consider overstatted compared to, obviously, to other heroes at this level. But it's stuff like the Gustin waves, and 8-1-10 was like a horrible Yum-Term wave. Like, disgusting. Took us forever. Whereas like the 8-1-8 Valkyries, we'd done that in like 5 goes. It wasn't a problem. This was a horrible wave. Carry, Azrael, Mim. But yeah, so we'll do that a bit later. We're going to jump into Aspen Dungeon first. I've set everyone up how I think they need to be set up. I don't really know with Aspen. It's a difficult one. I don't think we managed to get... Oh no, we did get to 300. Where did we finish up last time? 307. We're 27th. Bear in mind, we didn't play this account for like 6 years. That's quite incredible. So yeah, we're going to see how it goes. I feel... So Basilisk is now obviously a lot more powerful than we last done it. We was D6 last time. So... Okay, yeah, boom. I've put on him the Gilded Fan. I wanted to see if it'd work for him. I tend to use on Basilisk the Phoenix Cloak for a lot of Void Campaign. Outside of Void Campaign, obviously we use the Dauntless Cane, but I wanted to see if the Gilded Purple Fan could work. For those that don't know what it is, by the way, you're not going to watch all these fights. I will make a point. We're going to talk about more than just this. We're going to talk about all the stuff happening in Idle Heroes at the moment as well. So, this is what I've put. Fan of Love and Despair. HP, all damage dealt, 67% crit damage reduction, and 15% attack. I really like this artifact. And bear in mind, obviously, Basilisk likes a round 2 active, in my opinion. So, if self-shield strength is 0 or lower, then 30% of max HP restores the shield to 30%. So, if he doesn't have a shield, it gives him one. If he's already got a shield, increases all damage reduction by 50%. If he has a shield when under basic or active skill, additionally increases 10 energy. So it's a really solid, like, in-the-middle artifact where it's not a full defensive one, because we get the all damage dealt. We also get self-energy feed. And I love that massive crit damage reduction. So yeah, we're just going to see how it works with him. I've tried it out because I thought it might help against Gustins, but to be fair, nothing's helping against Gustins. Gustins are absolutely disgusting. Yeah, and I mean, the thing with Basilisk, because he does a big chunk of his damage based off the opponent's attack, we are getting to a point in the game where we're wanting to reduce the enemy's attack. So therefore, reducing their attacks that we survive, but that means we do less damage. you can obviously see why that would be a problem, right? So I've got... Speaking of problems, I hate CS so much. Right, let's go Wukong. So yeah, we've got 2 splendid Will of Winters, but as I said, the issue with that is it does limit Basilisk a little bit. His attack's so high and he does so much damage, it's not like you can't win using Will of Winters, but it's not the greatest. So yeah, I'm a little bit in between at the moment with him. Is this going to kill me? I don't know. I don't do Aspen enough to know this. So our next hero build is going to be Williams. We've already got Sylvie and we've got Madeline. They are Williams' 2 tenants. So depending on what we're doing, we can switch between Williams and Basilisk. I've obviously put some money into this account. We can do little bits in PvP. And obviously we'll get to do more as the account progresses. So I'm happy that we've got Basilisk. Basilisk will also be our first Nirvana hero. But yeah, we're going to see if that really boosts us up. The fact we've got a full Grimoire but we're struggling in Chapter 8 doesn't fill me with massive confidence. So once we've fully infused Bazzy up, and once we have him Nirvana with our Spectre Star Soul, we'll see how far we can go with him. If we're really struggling, by that point, we can build up Williams. We've got like a couple of cores in the bag. We've got some subs. We've got most of the food that we need. We've got the Destiny material. We've got the Stellar and the Cot. So really, it's the cores that we're waiting on, which is fine. Like that doesn't bother me. So we can wait and see. But it'll be interesting because I really want Basilisk to work. Like I really do want him to work, and I think he's a really fun hero. But as I'm learning a bit more about the game, as we're progressing, I'm just a little bit worried. On the plus side, obviously, most of you will know who Ali is. Ali has an S tier Basilisk. So I've just seen a message from Cinder. Hi Cinder. Moaning that I've left my PvP lineup off of VHL. We'll talk about VHL in a bit. I'm doing that because I'm doing massive strats for the final week of VHL. These guys aren't going to know what hit them. If it pans out. So yeah, Ali's got an S tier Basilisk. I'm allowed to use Ali's account. Ali's fantastic, right? He says I can do whatever I want. So I'm not going to do whatever I want. That's not how I work. I don't want to mess anything up for him. So what we're going to do next week is obviously Card Clash. Ali's maxing out the event. Now, some of you know this about me, some of you don't. We're going to get absolutely... Oh no, we're fine. I love doing like the side events in this game. So Fantasy Factory, I adore it. I love it. I'm not allowed to do it on stream because everyone moans at me, but I like doing it. I also love Card Clash. So we're going to have basically the max amount of cards that we can have, and I'm going for top spot. So we're going to do that. We're going to do his Awakenings because you want to get to the 600 points. And I'll make a little video out of that. I'm not going to make you watch everything. But I'll show how long it takes to manually do Card Clash with the maximum amount of cards. As well as the Awakens, and we'll see. Because we still don't know what the Awaken is going to be. Like, because it says it's a gala, and the gala isn't the good one. It's the session that's the good one. But they've given it its own... Oh, what the fuck is happening here? Do something. Right, okay. So confused there. But they've given it its own little window here, which they don't normally do. But Gala's not the good one, Session's the good one. So potentially, people are saying this might be the Sacred Awakening. I don't know. I think it wouldn't surprise me. And this ties in, I suppose, to the event. We'll finish talking about Ali's account, and then I'll go into that. So we're going to do Card Clash. We're going to do the Awakens, no matter what kind of the Awakens are. And I'm also going to do a little bit of testing with Basilisk in his Void campaign and see what I think about it. I'll do some of the Stellar Challenge as well. So the video won't just be like a too long didn't read version of my Card Clash success. It will also be the Awakenings, and we're going to show off what like a proper Basilisk looks like, right? My A Basilisk, which was a present from Ali anyway, is fantastic. But obviously, oh no. Ah, Morax. Ah, you fuckers. But ah, God, I'm gutted. I'm gutted. I've been talking. I haven't been concentrating. Absolute bastard. That's fine. Listen, we'll do this. We'll get there. Wukong will be better than Basilisk in Aspen anyway, I'm sure, because he has his counter attacks. So people like Saja don't hurt me as much. Don't you dare kill me, Russell. You bastard. That's it. Don't. Oh, he's only hitting us a little bit. So yeah, we'll figure out more about Basilisk then. And Ali has some interesting thoughts on Basilisk. He likes doing like a round one active sometimes, not all the time. I think I'm not going to put words in his mouth, but he likes to do a round one active. I think that potentially when your hero is Nirvana and you've got the infusions and all that kind of stuff on him, that because he's got Grimoire Book 2, obviously. I think you have a lot more play with Basilisk, so I'm interested to see what a Basilisk at that level looks like. Morax, bro. Oh, good. Before really confirming what I'm going to do on my account. So yeah, talk about the next week. Do you know what? It's interesting. When I'd done my event preview, in truth, right, I was devastated doing it because for the Chinese New Year, because I sat there reading it all, not really understanding a lot, and then after about an hour and a half of looking, I understood it more. And then I couldn't commit to saying lots of different things because we didn't know still for sure. And then when the event came out, I looked at the event and then I looked at the event preview and I was like, well, they just didn't say the correct things in the event preview. So, which is why I'm happy that I didn't commit to anything too much about the event because it would have been wrong. But they've done this recently with a few different events where they've introduced RNG into it. When it's stuff like the Merry Carnival, I didn't mind the RNG because it was skill-based within reason. There was obviously parts to the Merry Carnival, like, the scratch card event, that was sometimes you just couldn't get max points and all that kind of stuff, but there was skill to it. My issue with the RNG side of things that they've introduced, they've done it with Tiny Brave this time round and the Brave Adventure last time. Is Wukong going to die here? Yeah. The problem is this. It's not that the base level gets moved down. So for instance, say in a standard event, you get 100 event currency. I know we don't. Say you did. The RNG can only work in your favor in these events. So rather than getting 100, like you could get 120, right? The problem is when they do stuff like that, if you don't get the luck, and it doesn't bother me, but if you're a low spender or free to play or whatever, and you don't get that luck, you feel like you've missed out. So I don't get what they're trying to achieve by doing this and bringing these events in. I really don't like it, man. I really don't like it, and I think it's off-putting for players. Certainly, I've seen plenty of people moaning about it, and I think ultimately, this is a free-to-play mobile game. We've got to be careful what we moan about. It's content for everyone, like game content for everyone. But I just feel like they could try and help themselves sometimes, like DH games, that is, like they could try and help themselves and not make silly little decisions. But yeah, it's a difficult one. Like, because the start to the year, I don't think has been very strong. Well, I don't think it hasn't been very strong. And it's interesting because if you go back to say, Thanksgiving onwards, we had Thanksgiving, Halloween, Christmas, New Year. Like, we had so many events back to back, and people were saying that they wanted a little bit of a break because resource wise it was very intensive. And then we had nothing for like a month, and people were like, oh no, we need stuff, we need events now. Absolutely valid. And then the event dropped, and I don't know whether their thought process was, well, if we put enough events out during Chinese New Year, it will make it seem like it's a good event. Because in reality, I really don't think it was. Like, we had a standard Heroic Scroll event. We had the Chicken Legs event, which I think's a little bit cheeky because what they've tried to do is get people to use their tickets up on treasures that aren't the best. And Enthralling Toyland isn't the best series. And they've tried to get people to use their cores, which I'm fine with. I don't mind the cores. People should save cores for events like this. And I did say that a couple of weeks before the event. I was saying to people, hold on to them. But like the Awakens, I'm not a fan of, because it's like they've baited us into, or baited people into using it, and then we've got the event next week, which they haven't really announced. And the argument to that is obviously, well, people can wait until, say, Thursday to do it. People don't wait. They know that. They know people don't wait. So, and it's not about whether people should or shouldn't. It's about what people actually do, right? That's all we can base things off of. So yeah, I do worry about this game sometimes. I've been very positive the last, I don't know, 8-10 weeks. I've been really positive. I went through a bit of a down period just before all the big events came out. And then I kind of realised, going back, I suppose, because I don't watch YouTube at all now. I don't have the, between work, family, and obviously doing this, I don't have the time, right? But I used to watch it. And there was nothing worse than, you know, you're watching a content creator making content on a game that you enjoy and they're negative about it. Like, you don't want to listen or watch that. Why would you? Why would you, you know, you're watching it to be entertained, not have someone say, oh, this game's trash, like it's just wrong. So I've deliberately been a lot more positive. I said I had a couple of weeks, a bit of a blip where I was a bit negative. But yeah, it can be hard sometimes. It can be hard sometimes. Oh, look at Morax, man. He's such a stud. I mean, he's destroyed my run because he's killed... Oh, Sylvie's doing nothing. He's killed my my Basilisk, and he's going to kill my Sylvie. Oh, you bastard. I think we're done. Have we got Madeline? Oh, we've got Madeline. She ain't going to do nothing. But it can be hard to remain positive, because I think the game itself, I feel like it's in a good spot. I think there's so much content, and it's interesting. I'm filming this. What are we? Because you guys are gonna have this out Wednesday morning. So I'm filming this Tuesday night. And I was speaking to someone on the Discord about this about 2 hours ago, very briefly. And my personal opinion, especially having done the VHL the last 3 weeks, is that they need to do something for new players, man, because there is massive like holes in progress. So, for instance, like the newbie growth plan, the Stellar Challenge, like, honestly, is an absolute... I'm not going all the way back to one. Is an absolute joke for new players. Like, the first level of it is just seriously bad. And so that roadblocks in the newbie growth plan. So you imagine you're a new player. You're a week into the game and you're just stuck. There's nothing you can do because you're not getting the resources you need from the growth plan to build up Garuda. Unless you join during a big event, you're not getting chests or anything like that. Like, it's a bit rough. And I feel like there's so much that could be made better with just like little tweaks. Pioneer races are cool, but then you get arseholes like me who just cheese it with their alt accounts. Like, I've been top 3 every single time, and the people above me are also cheesing it. There's no way that new players are maxing it out. What we're going to do, I'm going to quickly break because I'm going to change my team up, and then we'll go and go into the void. But I need to change all my heroes up, and we'll continue talking about how I cheese Pioneer races and that it's bad for the community. Yeah, we're back. I'll just show you the Gustin way first. I haven't actually set this up for Gustin at all. I've set this up for Hollow, but we're just going to do this anyway. So yeah, we talk about cheesing the Pioneer races. So yeah, I feel a little bit bad. Like, it's interesting. I done a couple of collab journeys with some of my older accounts that I started around the anniversary events, so last June or July, whenever it was. And on my Morax one, I had 26 friends on the friends list, and not a single person still playing the game. I would have had 30 friends. That means 4 have kicked me out, right? Maybe they're still playing, but the rest were 10 days since login. It's not good. Like, I don't think that's good. And obviously I don't know the real figures behind everything. DH Games would. They would know how many people download, etc. What struck me as interesting on that account was like how many of those were level, say, 80 to 90. So they'd played for 2 weeks and then just quit. And I just view that as like this huge problem. And maybe others don't. I do. I think that it's one thing getting people to play the game. It's another thing to get them to keep playing the game. And I think that it's indicative of how difficult, by the way, I'm not thinking about this too much. We're talking more than anything at this point. So if you see some weird decisions, I'm going to blame it on that. So, I didn't even think about that. I can't put 2 trans puppets in my team. That'd be fine. So yeah, it's weird. It's weird because I genuinely love this game. And I think that quite often, in fact, this was said to me, and I don't disagree with it. People say, well, it's an idle game. And it's true. This is an idle game. It's in the name, right? But as well, is it really? Is it a proper idle game? No. And so I think that it's a difficult one. I feel like there's more progress that can be made. So in the VHL at the moment, we're 3 weeks in. Someone has completed the guild bosses. Someone has completed the tower. We'll certainly get to death 50, a couple of us, by the end of this 4th week. So that's a lot of like the real early game content done. And so then you progress to Void Vortex and Realms Gate. But there's this massive jump in difficulty where you can't really do an awful lot. So you get this, if you play the game optimally, we haven't really been playing optimally, but we all know what we're doing, right? To complete the tower in 2.5 weeks, you then get to Tower of Dream, which you just get stuck on. You can't do it. You get your first E5, so you unlock the Void, and you can't clear the first level of Void Vortex, probably. You can't push Void Corruption 10 in Realms Gate, so you can't push forward in that. And so there's like this roadblock of progress where if you play optimally, or you know what you're doing so you can play suboptimally and still get the same amount of progress, you get stuck. And so for like my point of view, there is no way that I'd want to continue my VHL account past 4 or 5 weeks, because I'd have cleared the real early game content, i.e. Guild Boss 60, Tower of Oblivion, Aspen Dungeon, and Seal Land 20, say for instance, for one of my factions. And then I'm just stuck, because you're then stuck until you get a decent Wukong, till you get a train, till you get an okay awakening. You need like 1 million attack to clear to whatever it is, 1-8 or whatever. I just don't like it. I think that there's that massive gap that needs to be plugged, and I think that it's something that's achievable. And the other side is, I completely get why DH Games have done what they've done, right? They introduced these power mechanics. So the most recent one was 6 months ago, say, with the Grimoire. And they have to do that because ultimately whales are the one that fund the game, right? It's not the low or mid spenders. Obviously, it's not the free to play. It's the whales. And to get them to spend, they've got to have something to spend on. So the Grimoire started out obviously as the primal Grimoire, and now we've got to the imprint infusions, and then next it's going to be, is it the origin infusions or whatever, and it's just going to keep on going further. So what it means is, if you're a brand new player and you're looking to what the end goal is, it gets so ridiculously far ahead that you can't achieve it. And I wonder, if you're a brand new player coming into a game, do you look at it and say, well, I'm never achieving that, so what's the point in being here? I don't know. Because ultimately, the game itself obviously is different when you start getting to Star Souls, all that stuff. But you're still facing similar enemies, right? It just gets more frustrating because they're harder to beat. Like Void Campaign. And to be fair, they made this mistake with Betty. I think Betty was the biggest mistake they made, because she's made so much of the game redundant. And then they've countered that by saying, well, okay, have some gusting waves and have some Valk waves. And then as you go further on, it's the Valk waves are the roadblock. And I don't use Betty in mine. As I said, Basilisk doesn't really struggle with Valkyrie waves. But all you're getting from going from chapter 7 to chapter 9 is the same waves that are more difficult. So does it matter? From my point of view, I say no, it doesn't. But I only know that because I'm kind of here. If I was a brand new player looking to start the game, would I look at that and think that it's the same? No, I'd want to get there. It's only when you start getting to that point that you realise this is exactly the same. So it's a weird one. It's a weird spot that the game's in. I think that what they've always done well, and I've always praised them for it, is that they've always kept it to the power mechanics rather than hero mechanics. And what I mean by that is, there's nothing worse, and I'm sure you've all played games before, where you'll have a game and the newest hero that comes out is the best hero, right? And DH games haven't done that. That's not their way of doing things. It used to be. Those of you that played back in 2018-19, that's exactly how the game used to be, right? Valkyrie, Horus, Penny, Ada, Aspen, Oberon, all these heroes that came out were meta defining, and so you had to build them up. Now, obviously, back then, E3, I remember when E3 came out, but I don't really remember playing much before that. I do remember when E3 came out, and the hard thing was like the copies, man. Like getting hero copies was insanely difficult. And then they brought out E5 soon after. And to be fair, I quit not long after that. It just wasn't for me. And to think of how it's come now is just absolutely wild. But they've stopped doing that thing where you have to completely change your team, right? For the new hero. You don't have to do it. And to get hero copies is easier. To get food's obviously easier. But the power mechanics is just such a time sink. And I'm interested to see, because I wouldn't be able to play this game, my main account, free to play. I think I'd find it too slow. And that's regardless of doing YouTube for it. It's just not something that I think I'd be able to enjoy, having been a spender. I think perhaps if I wasn't a spender and I'd been playing this for a couple of years, perhaps I'd get over it. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I want to know what your guys' opinion is. If you've always been free to play and you've played for years, what your opinion on progress is. Because I said, potentially, I think if you've got past the hump, if you've played the game for 6 months properly, it probably bothers you a lot less. But yeah, for me, it's just, I worry about the new player base. And I've had a couple of discussions, let's call them, with people before about this. And it's interesting. People's attitudes to new players and free-to-play players is just gross. Like, people just don't think they're necessary. It's like, how stupid can you be? Like, of course they're necessary. Yeah, you know, I've used this analogy before. If you walk past a restaurant when you're an older person like me, right? If you walk past a restaurant and there is 2 people eating in one restaurant and there is 100 people eating in the other one, most people would go to the restaurant that has 100 people in it because you assume that's the best restaurant. We'll think of that like a game and its population. If we don't have, if we have a game that doesn't have the free-to-play population, that doesn't have a community side of it, whether it's Discord, Reddit, YouTube, whatever it is, Facebook even, you're less likely to get people wanting to play the game. Whereas if you've got a healthy community, that brings it around. I mean, look at Clash Royale with someone like Jinxie, right? Jinxie himself wasn't the cause for Clash Royale's popularity spike. It was the fact that he's visible and the community's there, so it engages more people to play it. So yeah, I say he's not the reason. He is the reason, but it's not for people that just watch him. But it gets it more in the public eye. And so, for instance, if he's got 10 people watching him, those 10 people play the game. Well, those 10 people might have a few people watch them individually, and it just spikes and progressively goes up from there. Like, for instance, I'm interested to know, have any of you ever met anyone that's played Idle Heroes? You probably haven't, right? Unless you've introduced it to them. And so, yeah, I don't know. It's a weird one. We need to keep these new players playing. We need to keep free-to-play players happy. We need to keep light spenders happy. I actually think if you're a light spender, you're in the best position in the game. Whales obviously have to spend a stupid amount of money to keep whaling. Mid spenders, it can get pricey, and you get that opportunity cost where you're like, I could eke out a little bit more money to get a bit more progress. But I think if you're the type of person that spends $20 a month, you're in a good spot because you don't really get held up. Like, the issue, if you're like a mid spender and higher, and you haven't played the game for years, you get held up by like food and Stella. But if you're a light spender, you don't have that problem because everything's kind of held in proportion. Whereas if you're free to play, you end up with loads of food and loads of Stella, but you haven't got the DT mats or the subs or anything like that. So I think like spending is like the most optimal way of playing this game. And I think you get the best experience. But yeah, I really do hope that this year, I was expecting a big change because of how good the end of last year was. I really thought things would be happening, and they just haven't. I haven't seen any changes. I had like a list. I was going to do a video, and because of certain things, I didn't release it. And it's things that I basically thought was going to change this year, and it mostly for good, right? In fact, virtually all for good. And obviously, listen, we are only 7 weeks in. That's nearly 8 weeks in to the new year. None of it's happened. I don't know when the Dawn Plan got released, actually. That's good, but only if you're a spender. I mean, the Dawn Plan chest, the free ones are okay, but yeah, massive for spenders, but not for anyone else. But yeah, I really hope they nail it down, because I do worry about this game. I do worry about it. I've never played a game that's died before. I don't get. I have, but like actually gone offline, like a mobile game. And I think how gutting that would be for the guys that have, and girls that have played this game for like years, like 6-7 years, 8 years maybe, and then the servers will just go off one day, because that's what happens, right? If you don't get enough players playing. So when you get people turn around and say that free to play players and new players don't really matter, it's just a stupid comment to make, and it's just someone that hasn't really thought about it, or someone that's just trying to rage bait. And those that know me, and there's plenty of you that do by this point, know that I am the easiest person in the world to rage bait. And don't get me wrong, when I'm saying that, I don't think it's right that something that's always bothered me, this might sound a bit, I can't think of a word, like two-faced or whatever it's called, but like when free-to-play players really moan, I feel no, there has to be a balance, right? We have to look after free-to-play players from a developer point of view, but you can't have everything. You've already got the game. But yeah, we still have to keep people happy. And also, the other problem as well, and this was something that I noticed, particularly with Clash Royale. I was a big Clash Royale player. I used to love it. Played since 2016 Clash Royale. You get used to all of the good stuff. That becomes the standard, right? So say you end up getting 10 resources free. It doesn't matter what the resources are. 10 resources free over the course of a month. And then the developers change the game and you end up with 15 resources. And you think, well, that's really good. But then in a few months' time, that becomes the standard. And then you want more than that. So they increase it to 25. And then by the end of the year, you're getting 50. But that's the new norm. You've forgotten about the fact you only used to get 10. Right? And so you just want more and more and more. And I suppose that's what's happening with Idle Heroes. The main difference, I suppose, with Idle Heroes is that the goalposts have changed so much, and that progress is so weird now. When you talk about Star Souls and Grimoire and stuff like that, and the amount of resources it takes to get there, get wrecked, Valkyrie. But yeah, it'll be a shame. I really hope that they manage to sort it out. And on a side note, there's this guy. He's frustrating. He comments on he doesn't watch my stuff, I'm sure, right? He comments on Barry's videos like every video, slating Barry. I've seen it before, and it's one of those things, when you see the comment 10 hours after it's made, you just kind of leave it alone, right? But I caught it yesterday on a video, and so I commented and said, why don't you just leave him alone? And his reaction was, he's entitled to do it because he's watched Barry and that he's not hating. This guy does hate comments on basically every video Barry does. And I still don't think people quite grasp. Barry's been doing this a long time. If he's not enjoying the game, that's his prerogative. He owes no one anything. If he's still making content, that is good for the game. I promise you it's good for the game. Whether you like his content or not is completely irrelevant to whether or not it's a good thing that he still makes content. Because the content creation side of it is like absolutely vital. I really don't think people understand that. Again, it's a face to a game. So you've got him and MK particularly, obviously the bigger creators, and Rake's obviously incredibly well known. But like, you need them for a game. Can you name a game that doesn't have content creators? No, because it doesn't exist. Because if it's worth making content, if it's worth playing, someone will be making content on it. And I think the massive worry for, say, something like Idle Heroes is Barry decides to say quit. Then you've got MK. Obviously, I know Rake's tied into it a little bit more because of SG Hub, but like, nothing's set in stone. And can you imagine someone else starting new on a game with a dying player base? No. And I think that's like the death knell for a game. There'll obviously be the hardcore that keep it going. But if any of you have ever gone on Facebook, and I don't recommend it. I use it for various purposes, one of which is like for work purposes, right? And the stuff that I see in relation to Idle Heroes and the accounts that I see put up on Facebook is a whole nother level. If you imagine the biggest cop man in the world. That is like a standard Facebook players account. It is wild. But again, I suppose they don't consume content on it, I presume. And I presume they don't go on the Discord or the Reddit. And so they don't know what they're doing is wrong. I saw one that was 6 trans heroes and like 2 of them were V4. No subs, like not true of origin or anything like that. And it wasn't like a Wales account that was like pre-130. It was just bizarre. But that's what people do because they don't realise. Which is why I think, to be fair, what I would say is we're incredibly lucky in this game for this community that we've got that Idle Heroes discussion Discord. I obviously, most of you will know, I had my issues with it at the start, right? Mostly my own issues caused by my own problems, some of which I don't think was my fault, but it is what it is. I've made peace with it. What a fantastic resource it is. Like seriously, if you go, and admittedly, the issue with it is so in depth in there that it can be hard to find stuff because there's so much stuff there. Like in the guides, you have to know where to look. And sometimes I catch myself not knowing, so I have to ask, oh, where's this or where's that? But yeah, I wonder if other games have that kind of resource available. Like, because they're obviously, the guys on there, they know exactly what they're doing. And there's just, a wealth of knowledge and information. And I wish more people took advantage of it. I certainly do. I mean, there's not always all the stuff on there. I sometimes have to look up my own bits and do my own, but this is like minor stuff. Like for instance, for the VHL, I wanted to know what the thresholds were for the settlements. And I couldn't find anything on Idle Heroes Discord, and I know that because when I made my beginner guide about 7 months ago, I had to manually figure out what level hero gave what kind of settlement bonus. So yeah, I had that there, but that's like a minor thing. But like if you want to look at hero builds and stuff like that, and people ask about speed orders and stones, it's all on there from people that have tested it. So yeah, I feel like it's a good spot there, and really, it's up to DH Games, isn't it? Like, because it's not the player base's fault, is it? I think there's a healthy mix of newer players who seem interested, of light spenders, mid spenders, heavy spenders, old heads that have been playing for years, people that want to help. But it's just making sure as people drop off, which they do drop off, we know that, right, this is going to take forever, this fight, that we make sure that the new players coming on board want to stay on board. Because it's incredibly difficult. It is incredibly difficult. And the game itself, like, is so unintuitive. Like, if you imagine, if you started this game and you didn't watch myself or anyone else and you didn't go on the Discords, like most people don't go on the Discords, right? You would naturally assume that you want 6 Transcendence Heroes. And that 6 Transcendence Heroes is going to be better than 3 Transcendence Heroes V forward. But we know it's not. We know that the power comes from that and building the right heroes, but you don't know that. So yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I really hope that, as I said, the game kind of progresses and gets a little bit of a bump. I do worry about it. For me, I worry about it more from a personal point of view because I enjoy the game. I've enjoyed, obviously, I speak to loads of you on the Discord and DMs and in the comments here, and I enjoy myself very, very much. But it's not going to cost me money if the game goes under. But I do, people have invested a lot of money. I say invested, it's not an investment. I keep on saying investment. People have spent a lot of money on this game and it'd be bad. Is this just going to go on forever? I know it's going to we're going to take more damage soon, aren't we? Either is it going to benefit us? Are we going to win this? No. Oh, it does finish around 15. It doesn't go further. That's frustrating. I don't know how we do this then. Let's try it again. I've waffled on for about 20 minutes now on this second half. I completely lost track, and you guys can see now why I do my graphics, because if I don't have my graphics, I go completely off topic. That's the problem with being an old man who likes to talk way too much, but it's fine. But yeah, so basically, the Too Long Didn't Read, which, let's face it, if you're here at this point, you listen to all of what I said. It's a great game. The community sides, I think, is genuinely fantastic. I think there is some toxicity there, but I don't think it's certainly less than most games. And the resources available is incredible. It's just up to DH Games to to help as much as they can and do more than they're currently doing to try and keep their player base. Because it surely can't be about eking out every cent and dollar out of players. I can't see that, because that to me is just so short-sighted. Trying to wangle out some money out of big players, but then missing out on thousands of potential new players because you don't want to make it new player friendly. Because I think it is a free-to-play friendly game to a point. Certainly now you can progress to a certain level much quicker. Obviously when you start to get to Destiny, that's when the Destiny materials just become very difficult to grab. But yeah, I suppose Void Bosses help. Hollow helps. But yeah, so I suppose that's it, really. I mean, we're going to continue talking because I want to talk. What do I want to talk about now? Because we talked about Basilisk, and we'll talk more about Basilisk during the Card Clash video. We've talked about the game in general. I had a little bit of was it a moan about Chinese New Year? I suppose it was. Just a bit disappointing. I'm a bit disappointed in it. I think what we'll do, once this is done, I shouldn't have entered back into this, should I? Because we're not going to bloody win it. What we'll do, we'll go through the account a little bit, and I'll show you guys just an up-to-date of what the account's looking like. Because I'll do a Dream Team video later on in the week, and we'll talk more about the Dream Team, because that's good. Everyone's T3 on there now, and I'm getting to the point where I'm going to do some subs on some heroes, because I've got about 600,000 of every sub, so I can afford to sub some people up. I've just got to really nail down who I want to do. Because yeah, I've got about I can basically fully sub 3 heroes. We can't because we're T3, and also, I don't want to. We're gonna try and do it as optimally as possible. So yeah, I mean, look, this is the heroes we've got, and it's interesting. I could not get Natalie to do any damage whatsoever in the Stellar Challenge. Like, she was doing less than Wukong, embarrassingly. And someone said it's because obviously it's a B+ copy, which is absolutely valid. It's not an A-. It's not a God Killer Defier. It's still got a chunky attack. D6, 65 million attack, doing less than my Wukong was disappointing. But then I was looking at it, and obviously with Natalie, you want to build her up so that you're doing debuffs on the opponent, so she's doing more damage. And I was thinking, really, I don't have a lot of debuffs in the team. It's attribute reduction, sorry, not debuffs. If it was debuffs, it would be better, more like allocator. But like Fragile from Wukong, I presume doesn't trigger it, right? So yeah, it's a bit more difficult. Artifact wise, we've gone a little bit off piste. We've got a little bit rogue. What I tend to do is I get something in my mind, and then I'm like, right, that's what we're gonna do. So I've got 3 of the mirrors, and I've got the Evil Sonata. So that's the Demon Bell. I've got 3 Spiritual Mirrors. So we've got the energy feed there. We've got the Dragon Rue, which is fine. We've got 2 Snow Hearts, which is fine. We've got Lingering, which obviously we need to make Splendid at some point. We've got our first Scissors of Conviction. We've got a Dauntless Cane. We've got a Phoenix Cloak. And we've got the Fan of Love and Despair. So we artifact up. We need to get another Scissors. We need to put this. I say we need to put this up. Do you know what? I don't know. I know why people say it. But because we're running Basilisk, it's not that important. And we're not going to be running this on Williams either. So, yeah, maybe we don't need to worry about that. Maybe I need to get another one of these bad boys. We'll have to see. But that's that side of it. In terms of Dawn Plan, where are we? What can't I say? Oh, there you go. 1,311. It's not like great. I don't know what good is. I saw someone the other day on like 10,000 and their damage wasn't very good. And it made me think, surely there's more than 10,000 people doing this. But then it also made me think, like on my Dream Team account, I haven't got to this part yet. I could do. I could rush it if I wanted to. But obviously the downside to that is I'm not going to be doing loads and loads of damage. So I always feel like, oh, what's the point in rushing it? I hate this wave so much. That wasn't a good one either. We didn't even get our top 10. But yeah, so just for reference, right? I did the same lineup, and I appreciate I could have done a different lineup. 344, whatever this is. And Natalie was less than Wukong's damage. So yeah, it was so bad. And someone said on the Discord that that's what they would expect. And I just, yeah, to me, I was just so surprised. I was so surprised that that is what she ended up doing, like less than Wukong. Let's see, because this is horrible, by the way. Like, this is horrible because they have the dodge, and Williams is constantly silencing my bloody Basilisk. Sometimes I feel like it's not the end of the world because it actually delays him sometimes to do his active just after monster strike, so we do extra damage. Other times he just seems to be silenced for 5 rounds in a row, and so yeah, by the time he gets his active off, he's got loads of stored skill damage. But I'd rather just do the actives. Let's see what we've done. So that was better. Obviously, that was better. We did do E plus 16 at one point. So this must be like our lowest one of the top 10. Yeah, even Wukong done more damage there. I wonder what happens there. I wonder why he's suddenly done more. I find it funny, like even Heartwatcher just cranking out the silly numbers, 138 billion. Do you know what's nuts? I remember back in the day, and maybe I've got this figure wrong. I don't know how many of you watched Wrath of God back in the day. And I swear he done a Das Moog video where he got 2 billion damage. And that was like video worthy, like YouTube worthy, because that was an insane amount of damage to do 2 billion. Whereas now, like on our VHL accounts, we're doing that. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's wild that that was what was considered incredible, because it's not even stuff, because we haven't got treasures on the VHL accounts or awakens, but it's like resonance gear makes a massive difference. Obviously, the new heroes having Drake or whatever it is, even just access to them, so having multiple Heart Watchers rather than struggling your nuts off to get 3 copies and make a 9-star. Well, saying that, I'll make a point now. I got so effed up. I'm going to stop trying to swear. I got messed up in that. I didn't get a Heart Watcher. I had to buy one with relics. Don't ever do that. The VHL is a 4-week competition. There was no way we're going to sit there and wait till we get loads of artifacts, right? I needed copies. So I had to buy a Heart Watcher from the marketplace. Whereas others had like 6 or 8 copies of Heart Watcher in the time I had 1. Jordan with an Ithaca completed all 60 guild bosses in like 18 days or something stupid like that, or even less. It's just incredible, really, how quick the progression can be now. Ithaca OP for sure. I mean, Tix is the GOAT. Tix, I think he's going to win the competition. Panda's got Tix. I've got Tix. I'm not winning. But it's between Panda and Jordan. Eze's got Penny. Cinder's got Williams. And we've got Basilisk and a Natasha as well. They're the main heroes. Williams, I think, sneaky. But yeah, it'll be Basilisk has let us down a little bit, to be fair. And Natasha is only E4 in the VHL after week 3. So once she's E5, we'll see exactly how far she pushes, because she's done really well in Aspen Dungeon and guild bosses. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see exactly how far she manages to push this coming week. But yeah, see how we do here. I feel like this has been okay. Fucking wasn't. I obviously wasn't looking too hard. But yeah, that's the kind. Should we do what? Listen, what we'll do. Have I even got a PvP lineup? Probably not. No, that's definitely not a PvP lineup. Does that look right? That looks kind of right. That's what we're gonna go with. Can I even use this? Can I even use this in arena? Oh, it's gonna ask me to make my team in it. I hate this. Oh god, there's so much this, and we're gonna trash this guy. I haven't set my team up. Okay. I want to do 1v1s. Oh my goodness. Go on, Sylvie. Do it. She didn't do it. Are we gonna? I presume Basilisk is in. Oh no! What have I done there? No, we've lost because I set the team up. Right. Where was Bat? Oh, he was there. Oh, my goodness. Right, let's get this set up properly. Absolute jokes right now. Right. We'll even put you guys in. Right, let's just... Oh, come on. Come on. So, what do we want to do PvP? Let's put Queenie in with Basilisk. That's fine. Ignis in is fine. Wukong can basically run his own team. I'm not too worried about it. Let's get Betty to lock everyone down. And then Natalie can be the big hitter for this team. Does Wukong need more support than that? Yes. Is he going to get it? Yes. Yes. Flora. Wukong, Melissa, Sylvie, Natalie. That's my big boy team. Okay, that's fine. Let's see, who have we got? So we do, obviously, Betty's core, we'll do Natalie's core, and we'll do Wukong's core. I remembered to do the cores. Everyone should be immensely proud of me and my achievements, because I always forget to do the cores. To be fair, we're just going to run it. We're just going to run it, and we're going to see if we can win. It's not looking good, Rev. Why did he do an active round one? Why did he do an active round one there? Or did he not? I'm so confused. Oh, boom goes the dynamite, baby. Get shredded. Look at that. Look at that. Aspen, you suck. You suck. That was his best team, surely. Was it? Oh, yeah. Sylvie. Boom. Sylvie and Natalie. It's a nice combo. I like Sylvie. I regret building her up to DT as early as I did. We're going to do exactly the same here. We're going to rock out. I'm not going to say the second part to that sentence. We're going to rock out and we're going to see how we can go. I regret it because she helped me with a couple of early waves Valkyries because of the taunts. It was actually very useful. That combined with the Phoenix Cloak for Basilisk. Because for whatever reason, he feels so fragile, man. Like, he feels a proper fragile hero. And so having that taunt really helped him out. But now we've got to a point where he's not. And Wukong's kind of doing enough for us, obviously, along with Madeline. And I feel like Melissa and Natalie probably give us a bit of a better boost. And if anything, it's between Elena kind of popping in and out of the team when she's needed. Sylvie, not really. Betty, even. Like, I'm quite happy just with Wukong. And his CC. I've been running him with either Lingering or Dragon Rui, depending on the wave. But Betty's so cheap. I've still got Betty because at some point we're going to do our Void Vortex video. I've been saying that for ages. We haven't quite got there yet. But we'll get there one day. I think we're just going to... Have we already faced this guy? Nah. D10 Aspen. We haven't. Let's see what his Betty does to us. She didn't proc. Oh, I hate Betty. I hate her so much. I think she's a terrible hero. I mean, she's obviously a phenomenal hero, but she just ruins so many aspects of the game. Oh, go on. He's going to absolutely demolish us, isn't he? Yeah. No good. No good. But we've got a strong 3 lineup. Have we? Oh, I don't know. They've all been taunted. They haven't all been taunted. That's a lie. But they're not doing any damage to us, are they? I mean, Term just went ham on Olivia but couldn't kill her. Okay, now she's dead. Are we going to be all right? I've got the Gilded Fan on Natalie. I feel like is that low-key brilliant. I feel like it's a good artifact, bro. I think it's such a cool artifact. That and the Lucky Cat, man. Like, the Lucky Cat, so underrated for what it does. And when I've got... I said, I need another Dauntless Cane. I need another Scissors. When that's all done and dusted, I think we're going to build ourselves a couple of Lucky Toads. For those that don't know, in fact, I'm not going to explain it. We'll just watch it. We'll go and look at it. There you go. Of course we won that. Of course we won. Ah, we've got another. Wukong's going to demolish them, surely. Oh, yes, easy. Easy claps. Because I'm going to do a video on artifacts, but it's so difficult because I think there's so many cool ones, but it's like, are you going to build them? You're probably never going to build them. But, is it defense? Of course it's a defensive artifact, right. So, control immunity, HP, all damage reduction, block. When releasing basic or active skills, triggers Fortune 5 times, Prosperity 5 times, Felicity 5 times. Fortune, so basically 5 times every turn, you are going to grant a random hero on your team. All damage dealt, 3% bonus. Damage received, 15% of the owner's attack, so it reduces. So basically, you do more damage, you take less damage, and you either get quicker, more attack, more HP, or more energy. I don't like that because of the speed element, and I think that can mess up speed orders. I'm playing with a Basilisk, speed orders are already messed up. But yeah, so basically, by the end of it, because you can hold 30, that's going to give you a 90% all damage dealt. Like, because that's permanent for the rest of the fight. So, I feel like getting a couple of these on the team. Bear in mind it's a defensive-minded artifact, but you're making your other teammates do more damage and take less damage. I feel like there's some viability there. I don't know. This is, by the way, I will make a point. This is better than Golden Crown. I will fight you. If anyone wants to argue with me, argue with me all you want. So Golden Crown, all damage reduction, HP and attack. This is all damage reduction, HP, control immunity over attack. Bear in mind, 24% of attacks, nothing, because it doesn't take into account so many of your stats. So really, it's the all damage reduction that we like. And also you get control immunity. And when you make it glittery, you get so many better cool effects. That's just my opinion, and it's correct. Listen, I've rambled on for about an hour. This wasn't supposed to happen. It's like 11 o'clock at night, but we've done it. I don't care. I'm going to go make the thumbnail. If you're still somehow watching a listing, thank you so much. I do appreciate you all. Make sure you stay safe. VH out.